just talk us through a squad. 2 changes. Do you envisage many changes to the 17 within that from last week, or will it just be the 2 lads who come into the squad?
Yeah, just them 2. Yeah.
And is that, I mean, look, I know it was a defeat last week, is that a reward for what probably felt like an improved performance for the most part?
Exactly, that's it, Aaron, you've got it, and that is true. I thought we played a lot better, disappointed we lost, but we did a lot of good things just to switch off after half time, what we need to get rid of. And if we'd done that last week, we'd be in a lot better shape. So international rugby is, nobody will understand it unless you're in it, and them farm margins. We've just trained so well there. Done 26 sets, 28 sets, and we switched off and won, and that's all it takes against a champion team. So,
Dom Young, I assume, is an injury. It looked like he went off with a knock. How bad is that?
we've had it scanned. There's a broken bone, and so he's out. He's in the boot, and but I'm looking forward to seeing Budgie. He's earned it, and I can't wait to see him and Harry as well. You know, playing at Leeds.
Is Jake Wardle injured, or is that performance?
No, he's had a few problems with that. He's done well to play in 2 tests. He was a bit knocked up through the season, and there are quite a few players. Our Super League season is that condensed. You get so many players carrying injuries into this. We play 10 games a year on average, more than them, and you end up carrying lots and lots of knocks, and that's what we have when we played tomorrow in Tonga. But I think Daz Clark finished the Tongan series. He had 3 operations, an hip, a knee, or something else, and it's tough. But it makes my admiration for them all the much better when you see how much they have a go in the international camp.
How has the mood been in the camp since Saturday? Because as I said, it was fine margins for the most part, really. To go into Headingley, I think everyone was hoping it would have been a decided, real ferocious atmosphere. How have the lads sort of pulled up and viewed it? It
was tough a few days, I'll be honest with you. I know it was tough for everybody, tough for the staff, and tough for everybody moving forward, but it's the mood now is very, very intent on getting a result on Saturday. It's exactly where I thought it would be. I'm really happy with it. We've had 2 really big sessions this week. That's the second one, and we've trained so well. But we trained well last week as well and didn't win. So we just need to be really thorough, concentrate for 80 minutes, and we'll get what we deserve.
The scoreline obviously is quite clinical in terms of it's 2-0 after 2 games. How do you view it internally, the performances across those 2 games? Is it just small margins in sort of clinical, critical moments where they've been better, or is there a bit of a gap, do you think?
We were poor in the first game, and we still made 3 or 4 line breaks where we could have scored, and that would have changed everything. We didn't deserve it, but that is the fact. And if we'd have been absolutely nil in our detail in that first game, we'd have been in the fight, and we didn't do it, and that's international rugby. In the second game, it was a lot better. There's a lot of about their second try. First try, dead set. Their second try could have easily not been given, and that's a different game then. Morgan Knowles inches away from scoring, and that changes everything. So at the end of the day, in international sport, you get what you deserve. We've not won the Ashes. We're 2-0 down. We're really, really disappointed. But going into pre-season with being 2-1 and beating the best team in the world would be it'll make pre-season a lot better.
I'll let someone else ask someone in a minute. Just finally for me, with the way the schedule is in Super League, it's possible this potentially doubles up as a warm-up game for the World Cup next year. This might be the last time you play until the World Cup. I mean, do things have to change domestically, Shaun? I don't want you to start throwing people under the bus, but does the England programme need to be afforded more time for the national team to be able to get better?
Our players will be back in training in 4 weeks, 5 weeks at the most, and they're back in. Their players will be back in 9 weeks, and they've got 3 weeks off with buys. We play 10 more games than them on average, and it's just really, really tough what we ask of our players. And I get it, there's a commercial aspect to it all, but and they want us to turn up in the World Cup. George Williams will get 4.5 weeks, possibly 5 weeks rest, and he's just behind the 8 ball. You know, they're playing State of Origin, they're finals, so they're playing 10 or 11 test matches, and we don't get together until the start of the World Cup next year, and we expect to do something. So that, and I'm not moaning about this. That is a fact. Nobody can argue with that. That's the fact, the way it is. And if they want us to get better and improve, then something's going to have to change.
Yeah. Do you expect to play a mid-season game next year, or have you already had clarity that there's just no room in the calendar?
I've not had nothing yet at the minute. I'd love to get all my players together for an off-feet session. I didn't even have that last year. You know what I mean? So it's been tough, but it makes me admire the players a bit more when you consider what we've had and what we've come up with these last few games, and the level of test matches what we played. You know, we don't play that many. You know, there's Ulster and Hull and our derbies, but we don't play enough really intense games. So if we want to try to challenge the best team in the world, we're going to have to play more. Simple as.
The Ashes series result aside, is there a bit of pride and determination to become the first England team to beat Australia? I think it's 30 years, could be wrong. There's going to be some determination in that. Who did?
Yeah. I wouldn't talk about that stat. We're just obsessed about making sure it's not 3-0 this week. We don't want to be the team what lost the Test series 3-0, and there is a lot of pride in it. And then we will talk about stats like that afterwards. But all we're concerned about is making sure these lads are ready for half 2 this Saturday.
You mentioned Joe Burgess there. He's been one of the most consistent wingers in Super League, perhaps his best season yet. I mean, what do you take on here and the chance that he gets on Saturday? Yeah,
I mean, Liam Marshall's a good player. But I went for, we need aerial threats. You look at the wingers and how athletic they are. We need people like aerial threats, and that's what Budgie's got. You know, his yardage carries, he's a good finisher, but his aerial threat is something to be reckoned with, and that's why I'm excited to see him play.
And just on Michael Lewis, I think 11, 12 minutes, do you envisage him having the same sort of minutes this weekend, or do you think he could have a bit of a more say in this weekend?
I imagine you're going to have more minutes, and there was a lot of talk on bringing him on a lot earlier in the test match in game 2, but when you look at what he did, then I won't hesitate this week to get him on earlier. Is
there a bit of talk maybe taking, I don't know, the shackles off them maybe and just tell them to play a bit?
The players?
Yeah, and in an attacking sense.
Yeah, we did. We said exactly that in preview before we went out and trained. You know, we need to have that confrontational attitude in D, but when we get the ball, we've got some talented players. I want us to play. I want us to be free, but I also want to build pressure. You can't turn over the ball to Australia in dangerous field position, and if you do that, then you just can't win a test match. But we can be a bit more eyes up, open-minded, and play a bit more.
Are you glad that Kevin Walters has kept with the same 17 from Wembley?
No, I'm not. I've seen it. It's a bit irrelevant to me. I thought that he made changes, but he has his reasons for doing it, and you know, and we know what we're up against. You know, we're up against 17 absolutely fantastic players, but it just has to mean more to us this week.
And just finally on Harry Newman, he's a player that sort of played with his heart on his sleeve. You're looking forward to him getting out there.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm so glad I can, especially at Headingley as well. He's a great kid. He's I can't tell you how tough it is to come into a camp and not play and turn up and train and lift the lads. Every time you train, it's hard. It is really, really hard. He's been fantastic. He's a credit to Leeds, and I was really chuffed that I can give him a start this week.
Thank you. Just back on Burgess, it's obviously been 10 years since you last played for England. I mean, it's been a real sign of his what a good season he's had for him to come back into the squad to play for England again after a decade.
Yeah, it is, and it's a credit to. He's got a new lease of life at Ulster. They've done a great job with him, and I know Budgie, he's won me World Club challenges, and he's a fantastic player. I'm so happy that I can give him a start, and everybody in our squad's played, so that did mean something to me.
You did get in a bit of trouble last year for some of this social media activity. Was that something that ever made you think twice, or have you spoken to him about it at all?
No, I like him as a character, personality. We need more of them. He just needs guarding in a certain way, but I don't think we should. I don't think we should shackle him. I like him showing his personality. He's a good guy and he has no malice in what he says. So I think we need to encourage it in the right way. That's Adam's job.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. And just in terms of obviously Australia, they're obviously the best team in the world and they have won this series. Does it feel like there's more of a gap between England and Australia now than there was, say, a few years ago, like in the World Cup final? And is that partly down to the fact that you can't play as much international rugby as you'd like?
I mean, what I've just said there about when our players are back in and when the NRL players are back in and how many games they play and how condensed our season is and our players are playing 30-odd games, all them reasons is that's going to hinder your performance at the end. You know, when you're playing 10 test matches like they're doing with the State of Origin and the final series, that's going to be a massive advantage to them. There's no question about that. So if we want to nail our international calendar, we need to play teams like Australia more on a level playing field.